everybody, welcome back to Random Acts of Crafting and welcome back to my craft room. When I left y'all the last time, it was actually late at night, so I only filmed a little bit. So now this is early morning and I am in my craft room, and what we were going to do is put the pages in, and I was thinking I was going to do craft. But I got to thinking, I have more white paper to work this out on than I do craft. So I decided to go with white paper, and I'm going to show you how to construct and make your pages to work inside of this. So what we're going to need is just some 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and I'm just going to grab a stack. And what we're going to do is we're just going to cut this in half. Because our pages are dividers, not our dividers, but our binders, I'm sorry. The binders in here are 8.5 inches long. So we need our pages to be 8.5 to be able to slip on top of these, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. I'm going to do a couple on screen and then I'm going to do the rest off screen so that this video doesn't go on so very long, because this is really super simple. All you're going to do is take on the 11-inch side, put it into your trimmer, trim it, cut it in half at 5.5. So 5.5 inch. Then you're going to get two pieces like this. And all we're going to do is make a binder strip that's going to go across here and across here, and then that's going to leave this open where you can slide it down onto that page. You can have this open to put a flap or to put an insert inside of it, and I'll show you better as we get along. But these are our two pieces. Now if you have scraps, and I have a lot of scraps that are just pieces like this, these are 1.5 inches, so by 11. So what I'm doing is I'm just cutting these in half at 5.5, so they'll be the same length as our page. I got several here. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to do one. This will give us two strips, so this strip right here will do the one page, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to score right here in my trimmer, because now we know that this is 1.5 inches because I'm measuring it on my trimmer, and it goes right to 1.5 inches. Half of 1.5 inches is 3/4. So I'm going to bring this over to the 3/4 line right there on this side, making sure it's lined up. And I'm going to take a stylus and I'm just going to crease right there to get my fold. And there's my fold on that piece. I am going to go back and use the bone folder and crease that a little bit more. But here's the other half, and we are going to line it up right there at the 3/4 and just score it. Be careful that your blade is either up high or down low so you don't cut yourself on it. If you have cut yourself on this paper trimmer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It hurts. I have cut myself several times on the blade. Usually my thumb for some reason. But anyway, those are the two pieces you need to construct your page. I'm going to lay these to the side. And I'm going to use my bone folder and get a nice crisp fold on this piece. Just like that. And then I'm going to open it back up. These are my two pages right here. The two will actually make one page, but you'll see what I'm talking about once I lay this into our album. You'll better be able to see where I'm going with this. I'm going to use my art glitter glue, and I'm just going to put, again, doing my little W's. That just kind of gets it all in there, and I'm doing it on both sides. Just like that. Then I'm going to take this piece, making sure they're good and even, and I am going to lay this down right inside, fold it over, and just make sure that they're even. And all that's doing is joining. I'm going to use my bone folder again just to kind of smush out that glue and make sure it's good and adhered. And see, all that's doing is joining that page together. Now if you don't want those pieces to show, you can very easily turn it. But it doesn't matter, because for me, we're going to be covering this with some pretty paper. The reason I'm doing it like this is I want these pages to be the workings, and I want to save our pretty paper to decorate. Now I am going to use some distress ink, and I'm going to distress these around the edges, and I'll show you how to do that as soon as we get this page together, and then I'll show you how it will fit into our book. Again, we're just taking the other side, just lay it right in there. Oops. Making sure you're getting it nice and even, and then press that down really good. Let's get a baby wipe because I've got glue on my surface. Alright, and then just press these down like so. And there is a page. Now let me show you how these pages are going to fit into our album. What you will do when we get ready to do these pages, and like I said, we're going to distress them to make them look a little bit more vintage. They will fit right over top of these little binding strips, just like this. And you have to wiggle it down on there. Let me turn this way so I can get a better wiggle. And once you push that down in there, these will be glued in. So once you get that in, that will be a page. We can decorate it. Here will be open, so if you want to put another page in there, a single page, decorate it, scallop the edge, however you want to do it. Put a tab on it. It can be a pull-out. Or we can take and put a tab across here and attach a drop-out that will drop down and that will fold out. That's another option. So there's so many different ways that we can decorate these pages and make them even more. We can take another page, if we like, make a tab and hook it onto here and let it fold this way. So you can have multiple pages that will attach to one page. So we are going to, off camera, I'm going to go ahead and assemble the rest of these pages, and when I get them all done, I will be right back and we will distress them and then we will glue them in our album. So I'll be back. You work on yours while I work on mine. Okay, I got my pages all together, and I have distressed all of them except one, and I wanted to save one just to show you how I did it. It's not rocket science. I got this little dabber tool, and I'm using the Vintage Photo, and this is not an oxide ink. This is just their distress ink, and I love this Vintage Photo, and a lot of crafters use this for distressing because it's beautiful. And all we're going to do is just rub it around the edge, and see, it just gives that page, it knocks back a little bit of that bright whiteness. And I'm just going to do it on the three sides, the top, the bottom, and this outer edge, because this piece is going down into the book, so there's no need to do the side that's going into the binding. So, you know, if you come back and you want to do more on your edges, you certainly can. But for right now, I'm just going to do the edges just like that. I will lay this over here in case we decide we want to do a little bit more. Now I do need to clean up my ink because anytime that I distress, I always make a mess. Oh, that rhymed, didn't it? Anyway, let's go ahead and just clean that all up so we don't get our album in it. And speaking of our album, that is something else that I wanted to distress the edges of this. I think it will look really cool, and it will just take it back, just knock back a little bit of the brightness, and it will give it that old vintage look. So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to go in here and just rub this along the edges, along the bottom. And you can't mess up distressing. It's just not something that you can mess up. You're just going to rub this around the edges to give it a nice Just a nice worn look. And it looks so good. I think when you distress the edges of a book, it makes it look like it's been used and loved, and exactly what we want our recipe book to look like. So while I had the ink out, I thought this would be a great time to go ahead and distress this. And we're going to run it across the bottom just like we did the top. And I'm going to even do it on these edges, just a little bit. So I'm going to get that down and just rub that excess ink off right there. We're going to do the same thing on this piece. Maybe even a little bit along here, just to give that edge, that little bit of worn look. I love that. That looks so pretty. Okay, let's go ahead and cover up our ink. Set that to the side. I'm going to wipe this off one more time. Make sure I don't have any ink on my hands. And now we're going to bring our pages in. And I'm just going to lay this out like this. And here's our pages. And we needed, in order to make these pages, you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages. So how I got that number is I counted my little pieces, that my binding strips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what we're going to do to put these in, you can do it one of two ways. You can put your glue right down on these. Let's try it both ways and see which way seems to be the easiest. And then we can just slide these right over the binding strip, just like that. And work it down on there. And if you have to, you can always pull it from the top. So if you need to get your tweezers and get down in there to pull that up, by all means do it. Now this can be a little fidgety, and if you have to, and it probably wouldn't hurt to do this, if you want to angle these just a little bit, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back and angle cut these little pieces, and it will definitely help us when we're sliding our page in. Yeah, that's much, much easier. Now once you get it down on there, you're going to want to press that down really, really good. Just like that. On both sides, make sure that you're getting it in there really good. So that page looks good. So let's take our, I'm going to use my cutter beads because I like the way they cut much better. And all I'm going to do is take a little bit of bulk off of these strips, the binding strips. So just cut it at an angle, and you want to cut from the top to the bottom, and just leave the bottom the widest. One of my subscribers, I was always having trouble, and I think it was Susie that told me how to angle cut, and it has helped me so much. So this is a shout out to you, Susie. Thank you so much. It really did help me to not have to think anymore about my angle cuts. So just goes to show we can all learn from each other, and I love it when y'all give me a tip. So never be afraid to share your thoughts and your tips in the comments or email me. It doesn't matter. I love to hear, because we're all learning, and let's learn together and let's share what we know with others. That's what my YouTube channel is all about, is just teaching what I know to you, and hopefully in turn you'll teach me something, because I love to learn new and exciting things. I think that's why we tune into YouTube, because we want to learn. We want to know how to do something. We want to improve our skills. And what better way than a YouTube video that can challenge you and teach you. And that's what I hope that I'm doing with my channel. And of course to inspire you, because that is always my goal, to be an inspiration. Okay, yeah, those are fitting so much better now. That gives us that little edge that we need to get those pages on. So I'm just going to move my little scraps out of the way, and I'm going to come in and put just a really good amount of glue down on this strip. And I'm going to come back on this side and do the same thing, a good amount of glue. And then make sure that your distressed edge is to the outside. And then just put that down on there and squeeze it. Take your hand and just rub it like this to get it adhered. And then bend it over. And then we'll go ahead to the next one. I think this time I'm going to put the glue on this side first. And then I'm going to bend these back and then put the glue on this side. Now, can you see how easy it is to bind this and put this together to make a beautiful album? Now, this is not just a recipe book. This can be used as an album. So if you wanted to make a spring, summer, fall, winter, Christmas, Easter, the birth of a new baby, the first year in a child's life. Oh, there's just endless possibilities of what we could use an album like this for. That's why I said if you learn this binding technique, the possibilities are just totally endless. So again, I'm just going to lay that down on top of there. I'm mashing it all the way down. Then I'm going to take my hand and just rub it to get it adhered. And look at that. Look at our pages. Is that not cute? I know it's not looking like a whole lot yet, but you just wait. I am so excited to start decorating and putting our embellishments and different things on this. It is going to be beautiful. Okay, so let's sit this one down on here. Now, I believe that the recipe swap, we ended up with 50 pages, but we had divider pages, so I don't think it was quite 50 recipes. But there was a good amount of recipes that came in, and I thought, what a wonderful way to display and to save and have those recipes for a long, long time. So, and if we do another swap, I'm not going to date this. I'm going to leave it as recipe swap. And then you could always add other recipes that you get from swapping. You might have some friends that you just swap recipes with, and you could also put those in here. Never ever limit yourself. So that's what I try to tell all of my crafting friends, my crafty family on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. Never ever limit yourself, because you can do so much more than what you allow yourself. So don't limit yourself. Challenge yourself every day to do something different. Like I said, you will be surprised if you know, some people, they look at a video like this and say, oh my heavens, there's no way I could do that. Well, there was the first time for me too. There was the first time that I did this album, And I found out that it was not that hard. And when I did it and I was finished, I was so proud. And that feeling is nothing like that feeling of accomplishment. So give it a try. You won't know if you don't try. And you know, if you're afraid of using your good paper to try it with some paper. We all got those papers that we don't like so much. Try it with those. Cut you out some cardboard, break you up some boxes, and you know, even your cereal boxes or whatever, and make yourself a little makeshift album first, a little trial run. And then if you like it and you see that it looks good, you can always go back and use your good paper and make one that you would be proud to give as a gift, or that you would be proud to display in your kitchen or in your den, wherever. If it's a recipe book, I'm sure your kitchen would be the place, but if it was an album, I'm pretty sure that you'd like to have that in your living area, be it a den or a living room. And now we're down to our last page, and you can see how easy it was to get these pages in. They go in so good, especially after I angle cut those. And I didn't think about that when I was putting the binding strips in. So when you do your binding, you might want to think about that. But that was just as easy to trim them off inside the book as it was to do it, you know, outside the book. So let's just get this one in here, get it glued down really good. And now we have our recipe book with all of our pieces in there. How about that? So now what we need to do is start decorating and putting in exactly how we want to do it. So I want to go print out my recipes so I can see exactly where I need to be with them, so I can make my dividers and decide what recipes are going to go where. And as soon as I get that, I'll be right back and we will continue to work on this album. Actually, you know what? I think this might be a good stopping point for today's video. So I think I am going to end the video, but when we come back, I will be figured out the dividers, how we want to divide this out. We've got 9 pages, so I'm thinking we could do 3, 3, and 3, and we could put dividers in here accordingly. We might even want to do it different. I need to look at my recipes and then decide. But anyway, we will be back to finish working on our cute recipe album. I am thrilled with the way this is turning out. I love it. I think it's an awesome book, and I am so glad that I'm able to bring y'all along on the journey. Thank you so much for tuning in again, and as I always say when I leave you, may God bless you in everything you say and do. Let it bring glory to Him. Show kindness to someone today. Share the love of Christ with someone that may be hurting and in need of that love. And as I always tell you in my closing, I love you all so much. Thank you for your love, your support. And I want to remind you again, if you want this beautiful paper, the Dots and Stripes, or the Homemade with Love, I think it's Homemade with Love, which is this paper, and what this came off of. Those are available in my store at www.randomactsofcrafting.com. The link will be in the video below, along with the supplies and measurements. And again, God bless you, and until we craft again, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.